यज्ञस्य देववृत्विजम् होतारं रत्नधातमम्.
India is a magnificent land that boasts of a rich diversity with a wide variety of habitat types. Harsh deserts of Rajasthan, the glaciers of the Himalayas, the rainforests of the northeast, the highlands of central India, and the magnificent coral reefs of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. India has them all, dotted by sanctuaries and national parks of indescribable beauty. India has a rich heritage of flora and fauna, a delight for nature lovers from all over the world. In the foothills of the Himalayas are sanctuaries such as Dudhwa and Corbett, which provide us with a glimpse of prehistory. Towards the east, in the delta of the country, is Sundarbans. It harbors the world's greatest concentration of mangrove forests and tigers. Reptiles, including the saltwater crocodile and mud skippers, fish that climb trees, are one of the many wonders of this remote paradise. As we move south, there are forests such as Nagarhole, Anamalai, and the Nilgiris. These forests have a large collection of elephants, along with leopards, tigers, and a bewildering variety of bird life. In the west, Ranthambore, a unique sanctuary where now the tiger reigns from forts and palaces which were once the kingdoms of Rajput princes. Unfortunately, rapid growth of population and indiscriminate development initiatives have caused tremendous damage to the delicate balance of our ecology. The forest cover is diminishing at a worrying rate, and many rare species are in danger of becoming extinct. Added to that is the menace of poaching.
Daring raids, animal chases, and tackling the deadly menace of poachers. Bold, courageous, fearless. That is the agenda of a forest officer. All this, you would imagine, requires a larger-than-life persona, strong and overpowering. In fact, all it takes to be a good forest officer is quiet grit and determination. Meet Shruti Sharma.
Even as a child, she was always fascinated by nature. This fascination was further enhanced by school trips to various wildlife sanctuaries and national parks. Her father was immensely delighted by her interests and further nourished them, spending long spells in the ridge forests among the trees and wilderness was part of growing up for Shruti. After a post-graduation in zoology, she took up teaching at the Bluebells Army Public School.
I found her a very attractive personality, confident of herself, knowledgeable about life sciences, zoology and botany and flora and fauna, even of the Delhi Ridge. So we promptly appointed her, and we were never disappointed. She remained and became a very good teacher. And I was very disappointed when she decided to join the Forest Service.
Shruti's students remember her love of nature and her spirit of adventure. She used to take them for various excursions to wildlife parks and sanctuaries in order to instill a respect for all nature's creations.
Shruti was a rather demure teacher at the Army Public School where I was studying under her, and she was perhaps the most malleable person to persuade to come along with us on field trips outside school to national parks and sanctuaries and to the forest. And there was a time when we were going to Bharatpur and we needed to have somebody take us with them to chaperone us, a teacher, and she was the easiest one to persuade to take along, so we took her with us to Bharatpur. The trip to Bharatpur had more of a profound experience on her, and I think a couple of weeks later she ended up leaving teaching because I think she found that perhaps the Forest Service or being closer to the forest was more her calling than teaching.
Even during her teaching days, Shruti interacted with a number of conservationists, which fueled her determination to join the Indian Forest Service.
Because the service gives you a much bigger platform to work on wildlife, on flora, on forestry, community development associated activities, and that gives you much more freedom to look at the issues involved in forestry and implement the national policy.
Shruti completed her training at the Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy and later at the Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy of Administration, India's premier institutes. Male domination in her field hardly seemed to deter Shruti. To prove this, she won the best all-round forester of the 1987 batch.
The thing that struck me most very early during the course is that she was extremely attentive to the theory portion with which we started. She was very sharp and very quick to understand the modern and emerging ecological concepts. So it really showed that she was not just simply a bright person, but completely taken up by her profession and this new kind of discipline that we were unfolding.
After her training, she was allotted the state of Rajasthan Cadre, and in 1989 joined Bharatpur as the Assistant Conservator of Forests. Later, Shruti did her further training at the Wildlife Institute and was given the posting of the Sanctuary Director of Keoladeo National Park, a World Heritage Site. The park has some 150 species of resident birds and is visited by 225 species of migratory birds. Returning to it as a sanctuary director was a great responsibility.
Initially when I came here and I wanted to get something done, they would give me all sorts of reasons for why it cannot be done and why so-and-so did this and this happened. And within my staff, a lot of things that I thought could be done were not delivered because they had their own reasons of not doing it.
She had to tackle seasoned criminals who so far had a free hand in poaching. Shruti was one of the first officers to actually visit neighboring villages to understand their socio-economic needs and evolve solutions along with their cooperation. She devised schemes like the biogas plants and giving villagers identity cards to legally cut grass from certain areas of the forest, thus resulting in reduced animosity and subsequently reducing poaching.
हाँ, विलेजर्स में भी इन्होंने जाके नहीं, जैसे घास वाले आते हैं ना सर, लकड़ी वाले आते हैं, इन्होंने गाँवों में जाके नहीं मीटिंग की, लेडियों की अलग की, जेंट्स की भी की कि भाई ये पार्क तुम्हारा है, तुम्हारी धरोहर है, इसको मत उजाड़ो इस तरह से, तो उससे भी बहुत फर्क पड़ा।
Bharatpur also has a number of water bodies which are in danger of getting choked because of the prolific growth of the water hyacinth.
One of the women in the crowd said that if we could make vegetable out of water hyacinth, we would have taken it away. It's of no use to us. And that's what set me thinking on what I can do with water hyacinth as a weed so that it can facilitate removal.
After studying the qualities of the weed and doing some research, Shruti devised an eco-friendly way to use them: vermiculture. Vermiculture led to the production of the much-needed fertilizer useful to all farmers. During her tenure, Shruti's contributions at making it more tourist-friendly won her the National Award for the Best Maintained Park.
We can recommend it, yes. It was a nice place to visit.
The revenue generated is used for the upkeep of the park and the welfare of its animals.
Shruti should now contribute at a more policy making level, because she has seen what is happening on the ground and she is the right person. Shruti is the kind of person who should be put right on top. Now go on, Shruti, get on with it.
The techniques of forest management have changed over the years, from the emphasis on timber in the 1970s to community participation and social forestry in the 80s. Local populations were seriously involved in forest conservation.
जैसे मैडम ने हमको आदेश दिए थे, थैला दिए थे हमको, ये पॉलिथीन वगैरह उठाना और उनको ले जाके बाहर कचरे में डालना, फिर फालतू टाइम पे ऐसा काम करते हैं.
In 1972, the Wildlife Protection Act was reviewed and changed. Project Tiger, Project Elephant, and others involving protection of wildlife were launched. Focus now is more on biodiversity conservation rather than simply forest conservation. After being in the midst of action for 14 years, Shruti's interest in biodiversity conservation motivated her to take an academic posting at the world-renowned Forest Research Institute, Dehradun. The institute has one of the best museums of forest products in the world.
Some of the things which have been established long time back have taken their own time to develop. But now you have a new person like Shruti getting into a very new seat. I am sure she'll capture the historical perspective of her new task, and she would add several new dimensions to that. I'm quite sure of that.
Shruti Sharma is one such woman who has turned challenges into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. She has set an example for other ambitious and motivated women and men who have a genuine concern for our environment.